What is going on, guys? Matt Downs with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports to help give you the edge for this NBA 8-game slate. Cannot wait to break it down. This video is officially sponsored by Jock Market. If you guys want to be entered into the $25 giveaway that we do every single Friday, please like, subscribe, and also comment your favorite GPP play for this slate. If you guys are brand new to this channel, we provide both free and paid content for all daily fantasy sports across all sports. If you could please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, and of course smashing that like button for all of our future NBA content. If you would like to know more about becoming a better DFS player and taking down that big GPP, head over to www.patreon.com/dgfantasy for more information. On Patreon, we give advanced cheat sheets for all DFS sports on Draftkings. These cheat sheets include updated projections, ownership, and our overall favorite plays from slate to slate. We take it a step further by teaching you how to play fantasy sports like a shark, by showing you where the best leverage spots are to put you in the best spots to take down tourneys. Also included is our private Discord chat where you get to talk over the slate with everyone, including our coaches, to help build your lineups. Now let's go ahead and dive right into this NBA 8-game slate, but first you guys know we have to go over the Patreon success from this weekend, and we had so much of it. We had the Super Bowl, we had NBA, we had League of Legends, we had all kinds of sports going on. This person turned $12 into $100, got first place out of 39, utilizing our Patreon leverage sheet. Another takedown here, $9 into $100, got fourth place out of 713 other people, $5 into $80, $5 into $75. Just crazy success from this person here. Actually his first takedown ever. $150, $5 into $150, and that was in League of Legends. We had some more close to near takedowns here. Third place out of 100 people, $10 or $5 and the $40, and then also some super draft success here. All right, so let's go ahead and switch over to the main slate, guys. We have 8 games, but it seems like every single game has some sort of injury news. So let's go ahead and just break it down here. Houston has Dante Exum and Christian Wood out. Right now, Chicago is without Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., and also Otto Porter. Washington is coming off a back-to-back, which means Russell Westbrook could sit and should sit. So we're definitely going to have to be paying attention to the Washington Wizards today. Toronto are without Harris, McCaw, and Anunoby. Memphis is without a lot of injuries here. Won't go down the list here. Minnesota and Dallas, not too much going on there. Karl Anthony Towns has been out for a while. D'Angelo Russell is questionable. If he is held out, that's going to impact their picture. With Golden State, we have Looney and Wiseman also out, so that definitely impacts the front court for Golden State. With San Antonio, we have Aldridge and Lonnie Walker out, so we definitely have to be paying attention there to San Antonio. With Cleveland, we have Dellavedova, Kevin Love, and Nance out, so definitely going to be paying attention to Cleveland as well. With Phoenix, all of their starters are expected back today, so nothing going on there for Phoenix. Not really intrigued in their team at all. With Denver, we have Dozier, Harris, and Whittington out for them. Doesn't really impact them too much, but Jamal Murray is questionable. If he is held out, that's definitely going to impact the Denver Nuggets. With OKC, we have a laundry list full of guys that are out. We're definitely going to be visiting them here a little bit later on in the video. And then with the Lakers, we have Anthony Davis out. He's officially out, and that actually just came out right before I started recording this video, so we will be paying attention to the Lakers. Let's switch over to the very first game. Like I said, Christian Wood is out for Houston, so how does it impact the picture here? If we take James Harden, Wood, and Exum off, John Wall has the highest usage rate on the team at 36.4% usage, averaging 1.25 fantasy points per minute. Victor Oladipo actually takes a drop of what we've been seeing from him with just Christian Wood off the floor. He's definitely more impacted when John Wall's off the court. So Victor Oladipo only averaging 0.85 fantasy points per minute when he plays alongside John Wall without Christian Wood. So I was a little surprised to see those numbers, but that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this picture. DeMarcus Cousins, $7,100, averaging 1.33 fantasy points per minute still. He's a 5.6 point per dollar value, still a decent play, but his price tag is definitely getting expensive. I'm not as high on him as I once was. Only projected 30 minutes right now. I think he's definitely going to be a borderline cash GPP option just with his price tag, and he does draw a very intriguing matchup here versus Charlotte, so he has that going for him, playing 30 minutes. He is starting without Christian Wood, so I have to see what the ownership's looking like. But again, DeMarcus Cousins teetering on that borderline of a cash GPP option. If I had to lean one way or the other, definitely cash viable as of right now. John Wall did get a price increase here, $7,400, and because of that, even with him being the highest usage rate on the team, only projected at 30 minutes minutes. He still hasn't gotten off that minute restriction. At 5.1 point per dollar value, definitely is cash viable. I don't necessarily love him, but just because of his minutes, okay? So right now I have him pegged for 37.5 points and a 5.1 point per dollar value. Nobody else really draws any interest here from the Houston Rockets. Switching over to Charlotte, just know all these guys have heavy, aggressive price increases. LaMelo Ball being one of them. Went from 7,800 to 8,300, and all the injuries are back. So as you guys know, when teams come back last game from having a bunch of injuries, the price tags are very aggressive, and now with the injuries back, it just doesn't make sense. So Rozier, $6,300, 4.8 point per dollar value is probably my favorite option. These guys are in a great matchup. That's the only thing I have going for them, but they're just all GPP options for me right now. Russell Westbrook is out. How does it impact the Washington Wizards? Let's take a look here. Bradley Beal is almost at a 40% usage rate, averaging 1.58 fantasy points per minute without Russell Westbrook on the floor. If we look at the usage bump here, Bradley Beal gets a 3.1% usage bump and a 0.18 fantasy point per minute bump. So Bradley Beal is going to be the most obvious play here on the slate, especially coming off a price decrease. Was $9,300 last game and is now $9,000 with Russell Westbrook expected to sit. Right now, he's a 6.7 point per dollar value, and that's absolutely insane for a 9K price tag guy. Projected at 60.04 fantasy points right now. Definitely one of my favorite value plays on the entire slate, my favorite overall play on the slate, and I think he's definitely cash viable and a very competitive matchup here. It is the highest over-under as well, so load up on Bradley Beal. I think he's the most obvious play here on the slate. Another player that burned everybody last night was Alex Len. He only played 8 minutes and was expected to play 22 plus minutes. I think he had somebody noticed in our Discord that he was hungover, not having a great time. So I think due to health concerns, they pulled him out. 22 minutes is what he's expected at right now. I do like the matchup, and he's a 6 point per dollar value. I think he's going to be more of a GPP option just because he's only center eligible. I do like him, and also Roy Hachimura, sorry. $5,400 projected in 34 minutes, averaging 0.98 fantasy points per minute. Not that bad of a point per dollar value at a 5.8 point per dollar value. So I am a fan of Hachimura. I think he's another GPP option. Switching down the list here, we have Chicago without Markkanen, Otto Porter, and also Wendell Carter. I do like Zach LaVine here, averaging 1.53 fantasy points per minute. If you want to stack this game with Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal, I think that's a great play because both of these guys do get tremendous usage boosts with these current injuries off the floor. So I do like both these guys, both these studs in this game. Kobe White averages 1.07 fantasy points per minute with these guys off the court. And Patrick Williams is actually the third highest usage rate right now, 21% usage and averaging 0.99 fantasy points per minute. So I do like him in terms of value, and I also like Denzel Valentine, 5.8 point per dollar value, Zach LaVine, a 6 point per dollar value, and also Patrick Williams, a 6.4 point per dollar value. So if you want to stack this game, I don't think that's a bad option. I think there's plenty of value here. Those top 3 options are definitely my favorite, and I think Satoransky more for GPP, and also Kobe White averaging 1.07 fantasy points per minute. His price tag is a little too high for me, but I do like these top guys. Zach LaVine under 9K is just insane in competitive matchups. He should easily cover that price tag. Switching over to Toronto right now, the only guy we're really going to be looking at is Fred VanVleet, averaging 1.28 fantasy points per minute. Gets a nice usage boost of 2.5% and averaging 1.28 fantasy points per minute and getting an increase in fantasy points per minute at 0.15. So if we take a look at that and convert it over, he's actually the best value play here. I have him pegged for 47.36 DK points and a 5.6 point per dollar value at an 8.5K price tag. More of a GPP option for me. Chris Boucher, Kyle Lowry, and Siakam are all decent GPP options as well, but no cash interest from me here from the Toronto Raptors. Switching over to Memphis, let's actually take a look at the usage chart. Yeah, so right now they don't really get any heavy usage bumps. All these guys have been adjusted upward. John Morant being one of them, $7,500 just doesn't make sense. I think it's a little too pricey. My favorite guy, and that's going to be a big what if. Dylan Brooks here, a 5.4 point per dollar value, projected in 28 minutes, averaging 1.04 fantasy points per minute. So that's my favorite play, the 5.3K price tag. But these guys are just all GPP plays from this entire game, really. Minnesota, I kind of want to sit back and relax and see what this this injury news does pan out to be. If D'Angelo Russell is out, I have more interest here. You guys are going to have to see and watch the live stream to see if he is ruled out and if he is, where we go, because right now I'm not going to dive into these guys. All the price tags are a little expensive anyway, so not too much interest from me for Minnesota. Looking over at Dallas, not too much interest as well. We know that Doncic is always in the picture. 11K, definitely more of a GPP pay-up option, but really no interest here. They are in the pace-up spot, so I do like Porzingis and also Doncic, with them being the highest usage rate guys here on the team. But other than that, no real interest for cash. And now we're going to take a quick word from our sponsor.
Jock Market is one of the most innovative ways to play daily fantasy sports today. Just like the real stock market, Jock Market allows you to buy and sell players to earn profit based on their performances throughout the day and night. They are currently offering a variety of sports where you can enter their markets and buy them for potential gains. Unlike normal other DFS sites, once the slate starts, you can make numerous changes to your stocks by buying new players you think will continue to perform well, or sell players you think are going to underperform.
Right now, they are running every sport with overlay, which gives you an easier chance to win than other major DFS platforms. Download Jock Market now on the App Store and use code DGF to receive a $20 deposit bonus. Be sure to subscribe here for all future Jock Market content. And now let's go down to the Golden State San Antonio game. Right now, we have injuries to the big guys. Wiseman and Looney are both out for these guys. Right now, point per dollar value-wise, all these guys are very similar. So if we actually take a look at Golden State, right now, Steph Curry averaging 1.57 fantasy points per minute, a 30.1% usage rate with these guys off the floor. Kelly Oubre, not that bad of a price tag as well. 1.01 fantasy points per minute and a 26.6% usage bump. Rate overall. In terms of the actual usage bumps, Pascal gets the highest, Oubre also the second highest, and then Andrew Wiggins. So let's go ahead and convert that over to the value chart here. Andrew Wiggins, a 5.6 point per dollar value, is probably one of my favorite GPP options here. No real cash interest here from this team. Toscano Anderson, also a 5.6 point per dollar value at a 4.5K price tag, and then Kelly Oubre, also a 5.4 point per dollar value. Draymond Green gets a nice little usage bump as well. A 6.8K price tag is a little too expensive for me, but he does benefit very well with these big guys off the court. But just because of the price tags here, all GBP options from me for Golden State. Looking over at the Spurs here, DeMar DeRozan is going to be the play without these guards here for San Antonio. San Antonio is without Aldridge and also without Lonnie Walker. So if we take a look at the usage chart for San Antonio, DeMar DeRozan has the highest usage rate on the team, a 28.5% usage, and also a 1.34 fantasy point per minute average. So if we look at usage bumps, he gets a 4.9% usage bump and a 0.19 fantasy point per minute bump. So looking at his price tag, that could scare some of you off. I think DeMar DeRozan is very cash viable in a high-paced game. This is the second highest over-under on the entire slate at the 233. So DeMar DeRozan's the runner-up for my second favorite option here on the slate, other than Bradley Beal. Some other good options are going to be Jakob Hurtel, projected in 30 minutes, a 5.9 point per dollar value. Patrick Mills is also not a bad GBP option, projected in 27 minutes, a 5.7 point per dollar value. And then going down to DeJounte Murray here, 6.8K price tag, projected at 32 minutes, a 5.5 point per dollar value. But by far, my favorite play from this roster is going to be DeMar DeRozan. I would not let that price tag scare you. He's had two sensational performances in his past two performances, so definitely like him here at a 7.7K price tag. Is still underpriced. Looking down at Cleveland, we have a couple injuries to be paying attention to here. Dellavedova, Kevin Love, and Nance. It doesn't really draw too much interest here from Cleveland, but Taurean Prince is still very much underpriced. Just a GBP option for me, but right now he's averaging over a fantasy point per minute, projected at 31 minutes. One of the best values here on the slate. So I do like him at a 6.1 point per dollar value, and also a Okoro at 3.4K, projected at 32 minutes. We know we love minutes from guys that are very cheap like this, a 5.4 point per dollar value. They are going to be my favorite two value plays from this team, and really just GPP options from this matchup. Same thing with Phoenix. All these price tags are very, very high. DeAndre Ayton, though, at 6.9K, was at 6.8K and was playable in cash last slate. I think he's also playable in cash this slate. Depending on his ownership, does have a favorable matchup versus Cleveland. But other than that, no real interest here from Phoenix. Just GPP options on the rest of the list here. Switching down to Milwaukee and Denver. So, I want to point something out here with Milwaukee. Their past 4 games have been absolute blowouts. Because of that, all of the price tags have come down to Milwaukee, and I really do have a lot of interest here. Brook Lopez at $4,800 is just criminal. I think that's a very low price tag for him. Giannis under 11K is always criminal, but Chris Middleton at 7.5K and what's expected to be a very competitive matchup. I do like him. He's a 5.6 point per dollar value, averaging 1.24 fantasy points per minute. I do like him a lot here in this matchup. I think depending on the ownership, it will tell you if I like them for cash or GPP, but I do think these guys are cash viable, especially Chris Middleton. I think Brook Lopez is definitely going to be more GPP viable just because he's only center eligible, but these guys do have very low price tags, and I do like them, thankfully, with them blowing out their past 4 contests. Switching over to Denver, Jokic is always a GPP option here. 11.1K, got 88 points in his last contest. No real interest here. It's going to be more so on the Milwaukee side of the ball, though. Barton's showing a 5.7 point per dollar value, but that's just going to be GPP options for me here from this matchup. Last but not least, let's talk about this OKC game and Lakers game. OKC is a 12-point underdog, so I would hesitate taking anybody from this game. But that being said, SGA gets a crazy usage rate bump here with these guys off the floor. Literally 1.1 fantasy point or 1.1 usage bump and a 0.3 fantasy point per minute bump here when these guys have been off the floor in 113 minutes of sample size, averaging 1.5 fantasy points per minute. So I do like him for GPPs. If they can keep it close, it's going to be because of SGA. So I do like him here in this matchup. Kenrich Williams, also a 5.9 point per dollar value. Al Horford's been killing it with these guys off the court, a 5.7 point per dollar value, and then Bazley, a 5.6 point per dollar value. I wouldn't take these guys just because they aren't that safe right now. But that being said, I think they're tremendous GPP options. If they do keep it close here with the Lakers, all these guys should easily hit value. I have to see what the ownership is looking like because they do have a ton of injuries still out. So I don't know. I have to see the ownership before I can make a stance here on the OKC guys. Last but not least, with Anthony Davis being out, let's see what this does to the picture for the Lakers. It actually doesn't do too much. So with Anthony Davis off the floor, LeBron James gets a 2.1% usage bump and a 0.04 fantasy point per minute bump, averaging 1.48 fantasy points per minute, which isn't that different than when Anthony Davis is on the floor. He also gets he also has a very high price tag here, 10.5K, so I'm not in love with him. Just a GPP option for me, and especially given the spread right now with it being 12 points. Some guys I do have a little bit more interest in. It's going to be Marc Gasol, projected in only 19 minutes, a 3.3K price tag, averaging 1.12 fantasy points per minute with these guys off the court. I do like him at a 6.4 point per dollar value, and also Horton Tucker, averaging almost 1.2 fantasy points per minute, projected in 22 minutes, a 5.8 point per dollar value. Again, just GBP options for me just because of the spread, but they are very good value plays, and that will wrap up my video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course smash that like button for all of our future NBA content. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day, and let's cash.